Thank you, and I'll now recognize Mr. Mfume for 5 minutes.
Madam Chairwoman, thank you very much. My thanks to the guests who have come today. One of the things that strikes me about this hearing is that we don't have enough time, and we're all trying to get a lot in here. So I will certainly use the right that members have to submit questions for the record for 5 business days, because there are a number of you. Mr. Shaw, in particular, I want to ask some questions of you through that process. And Mr. Schneier, your testimony was chilling, to say the very least, so hopefully we can talk about that. But Ms. Miller, I'd like to start with you. Much of your work focuses on fraud prevention, and before we get to that, I'd like to go back to something that I heard that was just as chilling, and that was your description of these outdated privacy laws, which don't afford any protection whatsoever to what's happening now in 2025 at the rapid pace of this technology and its development. It's very scary to believe and to hear, quite frankly, that we are behind in that, because the privacy of Americans is absolutely important. It's just as important as what Ms. Norton brought up earlier, and that is the fact that people who are looking for Social Security or trying to get Medicaid or trying to figure out SNAP benefits are running into this technology and being run over by it in many instances. So can we talk just a minute about these privacy laws, which I assume they predate all of this discussion, and that there is, as I understand, not a real determined effort to upgrade them to be able to protect industry and be able to protect government and individuals?
Yeah, thank you, Congressman. The Privacy Act was passed in 1972, which was 52 years ago, almost 53, and we still have that's still the law that governs how we protect privacy today, which obviously is exceptionally outdated. There are, in my opinion, there isn't a lot that can be done through the legal system to protect Americans' personally identifiable information anymore. I think we just live in an entirely new world now, and foreign adversarial nation-state actors, criminal rings, all of our data has been monetized, is being monetized today. 96% of information that's stolen through a data breach is used to monetize by a threat actor. And so because we have such an asymmetric situation when it comes to data, government is going to have to get much better about using technology to protect privacy. And there are technologies that are in place, I'm sure that some from some of the panelists here today are using in the private sector. We can anonymize data. And so we can do things that can protect people's privacies. And we're going to need to think about this both from a legislative perspective, not hamstringing agencies. The Privacy Act and the Computer Matching Act keep agencies from being able to share data that they desperately need to be able to find these actors. And again, these actors are foreign adversarial actors.
Thank you very, very much. Mr. Schneier, let's go back to your assessment of the bigger you are, the bigger target you are, the more data is collected on you, and the more harm that will come to you, your community, your agency, your government in this instance. Walk me down that briefly, down that street again, because you didn't go into the fact that this is not science fiction. This is happening every day, and it's happening to the United States of America.
Well, I mentioned China, the OPM breach from the last decade, where China went into OPM and took the data, among other things, all the clearance forms of United States citizens. And you can imagine why they might do that, and why they might identify who spies are, might look for people they can influence. And that is the sort of thing that countries are doing today. I mean, I'm assuming we're doing it to them. And so this data is very valuable at the government level for a lot of different things. I mentioned 2 scenarios. I mentioned a potential war scenario, a potential peace scenario. The more data we have, and our data is being collected everywhere. And so a lot of data is had by social media companies that know a lot about what we like and who we are and who our friends are and who's important to us. But the data we give government is a different sort of data. If you think about the data that's on the tax return, or the data that the Census Bureau collects, or the military data, that's personal on a different level. And countries want that. They're going to want that in aggregate to figure out things about us, and they're going to want it individually. And coercion's a lot of, it depends who you are, what coercion means.
Thank you. My time has expired. Madam Chair, thank you very much.